For this problem, we want to know which of the following equations has a graph in the xy plane for which y is always greater than or equal to -1. So the only, I think, real way of doing this effectively is just going ahead and looking at each option. So for option A, we're given an equation of y is equal to the absolute value of x minus 2. So if you remember, your absolute value graph looks something like v, and since it's minus 2 outside of the absolute value, it's just shifted down 2. So 1, 2, this is roughly what the graph is going to look like, right? So we see here clearly that there are going to be y values less than -1, so A is out. For option B, we are given an equation of y is equal to x squared minus 2. So x squared is, of course, our parabola, and since -2 is outside of sort of the outside of the x, we know that, again, this is also shifted down 2, so it's going to look something like this. And this, of course, is also going to have y values less than -1, so this option also has to be out. Option C is y is equal to x minus 2 squared. So you can either multiply this out, or you can use your knowledge of sort of transformations and translations. So right here, the -2 is on the outside, sort of outside the x. So this was -2 to the y component of this graph. Since the -2 here is on the inside, we're dealing with the x. So we're moving this thing either left or right by 2. Don't forget that when it's on the inside like this, a -2 is not left 2. It's opposite. A -2 is a shift to the right by 2. So this is also, since it's squared, we know this is also just a parabola, and we know that this parabola would just be shifted right 1, 2. So that looks pretty good. This thing will definitely have y values always above -1, but let's just check D to be sure. So D is y is equal to x to the 3 minus 2. So this is a cubic function, and cubic function is going to go forever up and down. It's going to look something like that, and it's just going to be shifted down 2, so it's something like this. But point being, it still goes down forever, so it's definitely going to have y values smaller than -1. So C is our only option.